Word on the street. Word on the street. Word on the street. All right, word on the street is coming to us right now. Hey, Paul.
How you doing, Babs?
Good morning.
Sounds like you had a fun night last night with.
Oh my God, Paul! New Haven is a fun town.
Well, you know, I think you and I would agree there are many forms of poetry, right?
Yes.
Well, I think part of the poetry sometimes is what we do with our food and our dirt.
Oh.
And that's the word on the street this morning on Springside Avenue. I'm here with Chandra at the compost bins of Common Ground High School. You've heard that place, right, Babs?
I know that place.
Good morning, Chandra. Thanks for taking time out.
Good morning, Paul and Babs. Thank you for being here.
Now, Babs, you know, it's kind of cold out here, but it's not cold in the compost pile. What's the temperature, Chandra?
At the center of our pile, we have 160 degrees.
What?
Yeah, 160 degrees Fahrenheit, which is great. That's a great temperature. You know, our target range is 120 to 165.
And that's poked deep into the pile, right?
It is, yeah.
Because there's steam coming out of here, and I don't see any secret heating coils. I see grapefruit rinds. I see sticks. I see orange and like clementine peels.
Sausage.
I know. Like sausage?
Like sausage.
I think I'm supposed to put meat in a compost pile.
Our pile is big enough and hot enough that we can take meat and dairy.
It could break down.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I was worried about dairy, because my wife and I aren't quite sure what to do. Like, I'm a vegan, but she has occasional dairy. Mm-hmm. And we sometimes put cheese in the pile, but I wonder if we're screwing up the compost pile because the dairy won't break down.
I wouldn't do it in a backyard compost heap. The temperatures don't get high enough. But in a system this large, you can totally do dairy.
So what's the word on the street today? What are you doing on Springside Avenue in the warm, toasty? Now, are you warm?
I am so warm.
You're warm being in the pile. You still got your gloves, though.
I do.
But so if it's 160 in the pile, how hot do you think it is on top of the pile?
On top of the pile, we can actually take the temperature a little bit higher up. This is about 2 feet down.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of take the temperature a little bit higher up. And it's going to be quite a bit cooler. But there's still, like you said, that steam is coming off. And the emanating temperature is quite a bit warmer. I'd say a few degrees warmer in here than it is out there.
So, Chandra, what are you doing today? Why are you in the compost pile, besides the fact that our nosy reporter was coming around?
So we process twice a week, and it's always a really good idea to take temperatures on the piles because it tells us a lot of information about how well our recipe is doing. Because it's not just us as the compost operators that are performing the composting process. It's actually the organisms.
Mm-hmm. Can I take a step back, Chandra? I don't know that everybody knows what a cool place this is. So Common Ground High School is a high school. And Babs, you can hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Common Ground is high school with environmental feet. It's one of the coolest places on earth, not just New Haven.
Peels and Wheels.
Peels and Wheels is this cool operation where some guy rides around town with a bike, and then people give him their compost from their house. And what Chandra just told us is one place he brings your food scraps is here, where they put it in the big compost bin. So yesterday they got a delivery. Where did it come from, Chandra?
So our deliveries come from the surrounding neighborhoods. I believe West Rock and Westville.
So people drop it off, and your cafeteria.
And our cafeteria.
And I apologize about the tech, Babs. Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Okay. So yesterday you got delivery. How much?
Oh, that's a great question. I haven't checked the numbers, but from our cafeteria, it was 120 pounds, in the ballpark of 120 pounds. And then from Peels and Wheels, when we get a drop-off, it's usually about 300 pounds.
So yesterday you got hundreds of pounds of our leftover food waste.
Yep, and since the Green Jobs Corps students started processing with us this spring, a few months ago, we've composted 40,000 pounds of food waste with them.
Whoa. So what's the green, can you hear that, Babs?
Yes.
I keep checking just to make sure you're in on the conversation. Mm-hmm. What is the Green Jobs Corps?
Green Jobs Corps is an opportunity for high school students to get environmental experience, like in the environmental field. And so we have multiple Green Jobs Corps opportunities here at Common Ground, and there's also ones in other parts of New Haven, like with Urban Resource Initiative. And so we have a compost crew of high school leaders, 4 students. 3 of them are 9th graders, 1 is a 10th grader. And they come out here every Wednesday with me for about 2 hours, and we process all that compost together.
Now, what happens in the end with all this food?
With all this food, after several months of curing and breaking down, it turns into really rich compost for our soil. And it goes onto our urban farm for us to make new, delicious, nutrient-rich vegetables.
And what do you grow there?
We grow all sorts of stuff. And our farm director might be able to speak more to
Well, I know that, for instance, Claire's gets, what is it, squash from you and tomatoes?
No, they don't. Most of our produce goes to our cafeteria and our student families.
So it goes back.
Yep. Yeah.
What a great cycle. So today, the word on the street today is you were taking the temperature to see how hot it is.
Yep.
And it was 160, which is even higher than your goal.
Yep, 131 is our goal.
Is 160 even better because it breaks the food down more?
It's great.
2 feet down.
2 feet down, right in the
Babs, you still hearing us?
Yes.
Okay. So now why are you taking that temperature this morning, Chandra? And I'm sorry I'm yelling. I want to make sure Babs
Oh,
hears
it's
us.
great. It's no problem. That temperature tells us that we are doing everything that we need to be doing to make sure that our microorganisms have the food, air, and water they need to break down all this food waste.
And the reason you take it today is yesterday you made a whole new pile.
Mm-hmm.
You brought those hundreds of pounds of food waste yesterday.
Yep.
And you mixed it in with what, leaves and dirt?
Yeah, so we do a 2-to-1 ratio of what we call browns and greens. Food waste represents most of the greens, and we mix it with wood chips, animal muck from our animals here at the farm waste, leaves, and even compostable cups from events that we've had.
And where do you get the first part of that?
The wood chips?
Yeah, and in the dirt.
The wood chips and leaves are dropped off by local landscaping companies for free because otherwise they would have to pay to dispose of that. So we get to recycle all those wood chips and leaves that would otherwise go to landfill.
Okay, so Babs, you can hear, right?
Yes.
So I hope you don't mind. I'm getting a little bit in your hippy dippy universe here. I just can't believe I can't believe how beautiful it is. The landscapers who are doing people's lawns, that's a whole other issue. But they have all this extra stuff, and instead of it, they're bringing it here to help get the food that the kids were eating, the scraps in the cafeteria. It's unbelievable. And then they get it all mixed back so it can be used again as rich soil to grow the food that they and their families can eat again. I mean, can you imagine if we lived in a world that was all like that, where we found ways to have everything work together so we have a cleaner planet and a healthier planet and healthier food rather than just polluting and letting stuff pile up and putting junk in our bodies? I mean, Chandra, I think you're up to something beautiful here with this temperature taken.
Yes.
Okay, so but tell us about the Cultic compost.
Compost, right? So I started composting on this scale only this summer, and I'm already, I'm standing in a very large compost pile right now. So I'm literally just like years in compost. Once you start composting, it just really sucks you in, and you get really passionate about it. And like everything you were saying is so true. It's really important work, and I'm really thrilled to be here.
So what about today? Now that you've taken the temperature, what do you do next?
We let the pile rest, and we start the process all over again.
What are you going to do the rest of the day?
The rest of the day, I am going to be helping promote the Rock to Rock event that we do citywide.
Another beautiful thing that grew up over the years. We ride our bikes. If you don't ride your bikes a lot, you take a little kid ride or a short ride. If you're a heavy-duty spandex person, you go 20 miles up and down all these rocks.
Yeah, you can hike, bike, and even if you can't hike or bike, you can spread the word or donate and let people know about Rock to Rock.
And what's your role there?
Right now, I'm just helping our development team with some of the promotional stuff, and then I'm also going to participate in Rock to Rock this year for the first time.
And why do you do it?
All those beautiful things that you said about, supporting the environment, supporting food justice.
And also, like, the way we do our everyday stuff.
Yeah.
So for composting, it's like we eat.
Yep.
Right? We got to eat.
Yep.
We need the fuel. But we can eat and grow our food and reuse the scraps in a way that keeps the cycle going without polluting, makes us healthy. Same way with getting places.
Yep.
Or getting exercise or going from point A to B. We can bike. I'm getting a little older. I'm not biking this weather anymore. I used to. But, I usually walk today and then. But so you're biking around, you're helping others bike around, and it makes it a better world.
Yep. And I think if we care about where our waste goes just as much as what we put in our bodies, I think it's going to shift things in a much better direction.
Well, it's shifting well here at 160 degrees, Babs, here on Springside Avenue. You thought it was cold out. I'll bet you're inside with the heater going. Sean's got nothing of the sort. Sandra, thanks for coming on Love Babs Love Talk Word on the Street today. And keep up the great work.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks, Colin Babs.
Okay,
Thank
Babs,
you. Good to see you. That's my school. That's my school, Common Ground High School. That's where my kids went, and that's where I served on the board for a few years and chaired the board for a few years and raised money for a few years. So, hey, listen, there are people out here doing this environmental thing, trying to save the planet. And you know what? Those people out there saving that planet, we all benefit. Even the people who don't give a damn about the planet will benefit.